There you go, Nick Black at Radio Memphis with Sucker by Nature. They're featuring Budda MD ahead of that Mystic Lake Casino in Triangle Hoose.
Where are we, in Canada?
Canada, not Canada.
It's Canada. Sorry,
Canada.
sorry.
Say
That's
it
right.
right.
That's right. Canada.
That's it.
That's right.
No, it's Canada.
Yeah. Not today, Satan. 18 minutes past the hour.
Right.
I found some interesting stuff already this morning. One of the things that we've talked about in the past, asset forfeiture plays in the news a little bit later on. I have an interesting story we'll probably get to in the next break.
Right.
A case that may change those laws. But before that, I have this from Ukraine. We posted the story yesterday on YouTube about the overall incompetence of the Russian military. And it's not just like the radios and stuff, but like when phones are getting stolen in the Ukrainian military, the people that had their stuff stolen, I'm wondering if a lot of it was baited for them to take so they could use it to track. The Find My iPhone thing.
That's a brilliant idea.
And they were able to monitor the retreats in real time.
Right.
And when I was going back through and I was listening to that, I thought, how incompetent does a military have to be? Considering the Ukrainian military has killed 7 of their generals or captured at least 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then one of the generals got, his
maimed by one of his own men in a tank.
It's like Niedermeyer all of a sudden.
Right.
Now there is this that is leaked out to add to the embarrassment of this on the side of the Russians, which I find amusing. Russian forces that unsuccessfully tried to take Kyiv were so confident that they would win, they brought along outfits to hold a parade in the capital. They brought parade gear. They didn't pack a sacrilege. They brought parade gear. This came from a Ukrainian military official, he said earlier today.
Wow.
They wound up dumping their parade gear when they were forced to retreat. This is according to a cat named Alexander Gruzevich, who is the deputy chief of staff for Ukraine's ground forces. At a briefing given early this morning, he said Russian troops had left behind formal military attire in the Kyiv region.
Wow.
He said, quote, if any of you have been in the liberated cities, Irpin, Bucha, Ivanov, Makarov, you saw how much equipment the enemy left, how much of it was destroyed, and how much of it was stupidly abandoned. Along with that, we are finding parade uniforms that they left, meaning the enemy planned to enter Kyiv in 2 days and then marched through.
Right.
For today, we can say that those plans were disrupted by the heroic efforts of Ukrainian armed forces and other defense units in Kyiv. He went on to say, though, however, that the capital city still is not in the clear as it, quote, it is likely the enemy has not given up the goal of a second attack on Kyiv.
Yeah, I don't believe
there is such a threat, is what he said.
Yeah.
Last night I saw something that kind of contradicted what this guy is saying in that, according to the Pentagon of the U.S., who's been watching this very carefully, of course, it was their estimation that pretty much all of the Russian military has abandoned Kyiv, and they're heading to the east.
East, and I believe north to...
they're being pushed back.
Well, yeah, but I think they're going north to Belarus as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And did we ever hear anything about the Belarusian bombing right over the border there?
Which one?
Anything else? No, they claimed that...
the fuel depot?
That was in Russia.
Yeah.
There was supposedly a little village in Belarus that was... This was about a week and a half or so ago.
Oh, I don't know. This thing moves so fast. It's hard to keep up with what is going on.
Moment.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the more interesting, and I'm like a lot of people, I'm fascinated by this. I mean, like wars happen all the time.
Right.
Human beings are always at war with each other. And this one, It went viral, and it's odd to say it like that because it's a war, and people are dying.
Right.
And everybody in the world, including myself, is against it.
Well, maybe not everybody. Putin's for it.
Well, okay,
He's like,
excluding Russia.
Yeah.
Everybody in the West is against this thing.
And a lot of people in Russia are against it.
It sounds like most.
Most of them are probably against it.
But now, having said that, the way it was thrust into the spotlight.
Right.
It was rammed down everybody's throat right at the end of the Olympics is when it started. And we're, 43 days in? Purposely, yes. And it became this spooky thing. I remember sitting here saying, and thank God I was wrong, but I said, Russia will probably take Ukraine in a matter of a few days.
Right.
And there were people that thought the same thing. And
they thought that.
Well, yeah, and we all grossly misunderstood the resolve and the
idiocy
power. Yeah, well, on both sides. I mean, Ukraine's smart, Russia's not.
Right, the idiocy of the Russian army.
And the well-preparedness of the Ukraine military system and the way that it works.
Right.
So now here we are with a vastly different picture that I can see now. I think everybody else can, except Russia. Is that I don't see Russia ever really having an upper hand in this whole thing.
No.
But what still attracts me to the coverage of this is how it's being done.
Right.
That's what's fascinating to me.
It's being covered by not only news outlets, but Yakov and Marushka on the street.
Yeah.
Just walking around, running, hiding.
With their phone.
People with their phones. It's being covered by everyone on the streets with a filming device.
Now, you would not see this in the United States military.
No.
Because the U.S. military would be like, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to take your freaking phone, dude. Leave it back at the barracks. Now, the soldiers are carrying cameras of some sort, but that's for...
I think
That's for the guys in the back to see what's up.
Right.
They're like body cams for law enforcement. It's that kind of stuff. So, if there's a question as to what's going on up there, they can look at the footage and see what those soldiers are seeing.
Right.
But there's not, Freddie from Minneapolis back there with his
cell phone,
doing selfies.
Yeah.
Watching his buddy take the head off of another dude.
Right.
Know, I know some of that happens, but it's not like it is right now.
Yeah.
So, watching this whole conflict just expose itself the way that it has, in the manner that it has, is fascinating to me, because you've got civilians now that are clearly caught in the crossfire of all this, and they're trying to get out, but they're also connected. So you're seeing military, you're seeing civilians, you're seeing the other side of the military covering this. And in the meanwhile, you got the people in Russia, the civilians in Russia, that are doing the same thing. But not from the front lines or from the war itself, but from the mood on the street.
And they're having trouble getting it out, but
it's coming out.
It's coming out, yes.
Oh, sure. Thanks to various VPNs.
Right.
Discord servers.
And they're getting information that it is not wanted for them to have, but they're still getting it.
Well, of course they are. You cannot, in this day and age, and I think from this day forward in the history of mankind, you will not be able to stifle information. That's the one part of George Orwell's 1984 that I think will stop. There'll be gaslighting, you'll be lied to, there'll be propaganda, but it's hard to not get the other side of the story. Unless you're
willfully ignorant, correct.
And don't want to know.
And do not want to know it at all.
And just assume that what you see is wrong.
Right.
That's a mindset at that point. It's gotten to the point now where people are taking photographs, with their phones, and they're able, and it doesn't take much to learn how to do it. Hop online, you can figure it out. You can edit the metadata that's inside the photograph.
Huh? You can?
Every photograph you take with your phone,
You can edit that?
you can edit
I
that.
didn't know that.
Yeah. You can't, there's a lot of it you cannot change per se, but you can add to it. And that's the key. All right. It has GPS information.
Right.
It has all that other
Sure
stuff.
it does, yeah.
From wherever your phone pinged, but you can add to it. And that's how the information is coming out. So they're opening up their thing and they're saying Russia's getting beaten badly. And that's being spread around the Russian. That's how this, where the Russian media is going, oh, no. Look at our comrade Tucker Carlson, who's saying, this, that, and the other.
Well, I mean, I remember hearing, reports about Yelp reviews and just all kinds of stuff where people are just... Airbnb. Yeah.
What a lovely
You're being
place.
lied to. Yeah, what a lovely place to stay. You're being lied to. Your government is lying to you.
Go to this site.
Yes, yeah. All kinds, which I thought was brilliant.
Get this VPN and go to this site.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it's.
That's counter-espionage in a way. That's like,
in a way,
it's being done by the public.
Sure.
Not the military.
The current
it's
younger generation that is, of course, tech savvy. They grew up with these devices.
Right.
The devices were here before them, so they know how to master them. And the old people that are in command, they don't get it.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this? How do you get that on the Marconi? It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
So that talk of instituting conscription into the Russian military, that has faded.
Yeah.
Probably because even Putin realized these kids are too stupid to fight this war. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
But in reality, those kids, if they got drafted with a gun held to their head to go fight for this thing, they would drop their weapons at the first chance and probably join.
And there are some that did that.
Yeah.
And I would imagine
they're hijacking their own stuff.
Well, I'm wondering. We've been hearing about a draft. Have they instituted that yet?
I don't believe they have, because you would hear more about it.
Yeah,
and
there's just been discussion of it.
Well, and one of the theories that I had seen about that, it was a while ago, a couple of weeks now, maybe 10 days, was that if a draft for that military, considering the circumstances that are occurring right now,
yes,
that could constitute another human rights violation.
Oh,
forcing the civilians to fight for something that they don't themselves believe in.
Right.
All right, comrade, you're going to go over there and kill these people. And the guy goes, I didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
You're now making me a hostage here.
Right.
I'm not part of this.
Right.
I'm not. I need to go home.
Yeah.
My mother's waiting for me.
I've got borscht at home.
Yeah.
No.
My mother doesn't know where I am.
Yeah. Right. So it's borscht time.
Yeah.
Oh,
your phone's talking to you.
He said it's 9:30. 10:30. Thanks, Mickey.
So, it's an interesting position to be put in, if you'll express it.
Right. Yes. But I'm pumped.
Thank you. We'll be here all week. So with the rest of the West watching this carefully, we're talking about how they're spreading information around,
right,
amongst themselves.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves.
And here's the beautiful thing. The Ukrainians are talking out in the open.
Right,
no
exactly.
Coded messaging.
Yeah,
there's none of the metadata included to this, that, or the other.
Right.
No, they're talking exactly what's going on, and they're taking photographs, and they're sending that out there, and they're saying, look, this is what's up.
Yeah.
And the Russians are going, no, that's fake.
No, that's all fake. It's all fake. They were actors. So the Ukrainians are blowing up their city and then laying in the streets.
Okay. All right, everybody freeze.
Everybody freeze, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. This is a really old camera. Don't move. It's going to take about 4 minutes.
Yeah,
bullshit.
Yeah, of course it is bullshit.
But the thing that really bothers me about that tactic of, and it bothered me the 4 years that we had to put up with it, is it is so obviously not fake news that I find it insulting that they try to pass it off as.
Oh, well, yeah. During the last administration here, we were all insulted by the lies.
And I was even more, I guess, angry and hurt that there were people that believed it. Hurt because it hurts to think people would be dumb enough to believe it.
Willful ignorance.
And it just amazed me, and I'm thinking,
what, can we blow the fog out of the way?
Look at how far we've advanced as a species. Are you not able to logically figure this out?
They don't want to sometimes.
And right, it is willful ignorance. And it completely is.
Not only is that sad, it is very dangerous.
It is. It is extremely dangerous.
Here's the reason. Here's what happens.
Here's what happens.
This is the result of your fake news and your ignorance.
Vladimir Putin.
And truth always prevails.
Putting on the tits.
God, I wish I could have. I sent that picture to Gerald of the Thursday night show, Memphis Live Music. I sent it to Gerald. Yeah. He was highly amused.
Hey, I think we should recut Putting on the Ritz
to Putting on the Tits,
and then make that the album cover.
Right, we'll get the Radio Memphis Studio Orchestra.
We'll get them in on it. Yeah.
It'll be big. Willie Hall would sit there and go, I don't get this. I don't know. Why are we doing this?